How would you grade NASCAR officiating of this Cup Series race at Coda?
It was better than yesterday, but then again, I suppose perhaps that's a low bar given how some of the fans were reacting to that one. Um, Listen, I know track limits can get people very heated, and people have very strong opinions about those. I tend to be of the Parker Kligerman mindset rather. That if you don't want drivers using that part of a track, put something there that deters them from going there, like grass or wall or gravel or whatever the case may be. I also don't like the fact that we only penalize drivers for abusing track limits through yeses, but the rest of the course you have them running well wide of the Formula One track limits because everything else that's paved appears to be fair game. And then finally, I think that the 30-second penalty, like the one that SVG got yesterday in the Xfinity race, way too harsh. I don't think you're picking up anywhere near that much of an advantage by shortcutting the S's to justify 30 seconds being added to your race time. So those are my thoughts on how the officiating goes, generally speaking, at this track for NASCAR. In terms of the race today, though, I appreciate that NASCAR let the single car spinners get going again before they were too trigger happy on the caution button. I just wish that we had kept with what we experimented with last year and not thrown the cautions during the stage breaks. And I got into a discussion with a couple of fans on X/Twitter after the race. I just personally, for me, don't understand the desire to have less racing. We went through this discussion when it came to shortening races a couple of years ago. Now we're having this discussion again when it comes to the stage breaks. When you have the caution be thrown for the stage breaks, we're being robbed of so many green flag laps. I mean, if we have to do the stage cautions so that we get the restarts, then I guess that's fine. But I also don't understand why the stage cautions are so long. Why are we wasting so much time under yellow and robbing the fans who paid their hard-earned money to come see a race? We're robbing them of more green flag laps by throwing these two mandatory cautions in the middle of the race. I hold the Carl Edwards philosophy that the yellow flag should only come out if there's a condition on the racetrack that requires it to be displayed because the track is unsafe. So obviously that's a standard officiating issue across the board that we tried something different last year. I personally enjoyed it very much. I'd like, of course, for the stages to go away entirely, but I know that ship sailed a long time ago. But I really liked what we saw last year. Apparently the executives in the suits didn't, and we're back to where we were before 2023, which in my mind is a little bit unfortunate because I would have loved to have seen a caution-free race today. We had a close battle for the lead coming to the checkered flag. Christopher Bell closing in on William Byron after 38 consecutive laps of green flag racing. Who's to say we wouldn't have had something similar from start to finish after 68 laps? So I continue to be frustrated by the amount of green flag laps that we lose with these stage breaks, and I wish we could have kept with the experiment from last year. But as for what we could realistically get with the officiating today, I'd give them a solid B+. I think they did a pretty good job letting things play out as naturally as they could. Certainly better than Xfinity yesterday, and thank you, Adam, for siding with my views here.
I do wish we didn't have the stage cautions because last year we had 8 cautions and we had no stage breaks. And I felt we gave up too soon on, I believe it was the Roval, where they said, oh, no more stage cautions on the road courses. I was just disappointed there.
Yeah, well, and that one was especially ridiculous to me because now you're changing the rules in the middle of your season when it comes time for a playoff race as well. So that, again, that's just a philosophical issue that I took with the decision that they made there. If you're going to change the rules back, at least wait until the offset. I mean, that would be like the NBA moving the 3-point line back 3 feet before the playoffs because they don't like how many threes we're seeing. I mean, it's just that was especially ridiculous to me. But again, I understand the argument that, restarts can be exciting. You want to see some potential for action there, but I don't know if they were thrilling enough to justify losing however many laps of green flag racing that we lost today.
Yeah. I mean, 4 laps under caution, those take a long time at Circuits of America. We could have had a caution-free race. I would have wished NASCAR said, hey, let's try just 2 years rather than just 1 year. Because I think last year's race, we know it got chaotic towards the end, but they moved the restart zone to prevent that. I think this would have been a great race. And 4 more laps, I think Chris Verlo could have been there and made a very good, entertaining finish. But those 4 laps, gone with cautions during the stage breaks.